Getting paid every 2 weeks sounds amazing until you sit down to actually write a budget. Then it feels really confusing. Ask me how I know. This is exactly what I experienced whenever my husband moved from being paid monthly to every 2 weeks. So today I'm going to show you exactly how to budget whenever you are paid biweekly. And I'm actually going to literally walk you through step by step what to do with an example as well. Hey, my name's Allison Baggerly, and I'm the founder of Inspired Budget. And honestly, I love budgeting, and I love helping people learn how budgeting can just help them live the life they love. Now, maybe you have tried writing a budget whenever you're paid biweekly in the past, and it just didn't seem to work. There's a reason why. Most people think that they need to write a budget every single month, meaning that July is coming up. On July 1st, that's whenever we will start a budget. We will start a budget on July 1st, and it will last us until July 31st. That makes the most sense, right? To think, okay, I have a month. This is going to be my budget for the whole month. But knowing from experience, that doesn't work well. That's asking for a lot of issues and frustrations to pop up. Because the truth is, I'm guessing you don't get paid on the first of every month. So why would we start a budget right in the middle of a paycheck period? No, if you are paid biweekly, then I'm guessing you're going to get paid on July 4th. Well, maybe not the 4th, maybe the 3rd, because the 4th is a holiday, and you'll get paid again on July 18th. So writing a budget from July 1st to the 31st can be really confusing because you have money left over, and then 3 days later you're getting paid, and then you're getting paid again on the 18th. You have all of this money coming in and going out. Bills are due on different days. Sometimes there's a 3-paycheck month, so you're sitting here thinking, what do I do with this extra paycheck? How do I know exactly how much money I'm gonna have at a given time? It can be really confusing. The truth is that you don't need to write a budget starting on the first of the month and ending on the last day of the month. You need to write a budget that matches your income schedule, meaning that you write a new budget the day you are paid to last you until the day before you are paid again. That's exactly what I do. My husband's not paid bi-weekly. He gets 2 paychecks a month, meaning that we don't have those months where he might get 3 paychecks, but this is exactly what we do. We treat each paycheck as a new budget. So let's say that you are paid on July 3rd because July 4th is a holiday. You're gonna get paid again on July 18th, meaning that this first budget will last you from July 3rd until July 17th, because on July 18th, you're gonna get paid again. So that's gonna start a whole new budget. This allows you to actually make a plan for every paycheck and not just this vague monthly overview where you're not really sure exactly when money's coming in and when money is going out. And it allows you to assign every dollar to a purpose before your next paycheck hits. Ultimately, it helps you be more in control of where your money is going and be more aware of where it's going. Okay, so I think that teaching this is so much easier to understand whenever you see it in person. So I'm gonna walk you through these steps. Honestly, it looks like 6 long steps, but it's really not. We're just going to choose the dates that our paycheck is going to be, add in our income, subtract any of our expenses, and then the goal is for your income minus your expenses to be 0, or honestly just not negative, because if it's negative, that means that you're spending more than you're making, and if it's 0, that means that every dollar has a purpose. Okay, I wanna say thank you to the person who sent in their budget. I do a series called Real People Budgets over on social media, and that's where I get these budgets. These are real numbers for a couple. She is a high school office assistant, and he is a massage therapist. Right now, they are renting their home from their parents, which helps keep the rent costs low. So I'm gonna dive in exactly how to help this couple budget if they are paid bi-weekly. So step 1 is to choose our dates. Because July 4th falls on a Friday, I'm going to assume that they are going to get paid on July 3rd. So I'm gonna change the start date from their budget to July 3rd, and I'm gonna set it from July 3rd to July 17th, because they will get paid again on July 18th, which means they will have their second budget for the month begin on July 18th and last them until July 31st, because August 1st is payday again. So I have listed out their income for both of them. This is bi-weekly, so remember they'll get these paychecks again. When you're budgeting bi-weekly, not all of your bills, not all of your spending is going to be done in those 2 weeks. So I'm going to kind of mess with their bills and their expenses, because what she sent in for me was for the entire month. So I'm just going to assume that some of these things are going to be due later in the month. For fixed expenses, we have rent for $1,400, car insurance for $391.86, cell phones for $200, subscriptions. She just told me that they pay $92.83 per month in subscriptions. So I'm guessing that's multiple subscriptions rolled into one amount that they gave me. So I'm just going to put that all here. And gymnastics lessons. Anything you see here like life insurance, medical expenses, pet food, everything that's blank, that's going to be paid for using the next paycheck. So we're going to assume that those bills are due the second half of the month. Then for variable expenses, electricity will come out later. We have gas for our home, groceries, restaurants, gas for cars, kids miscellaneous, just like if kids need to spend money on who knows what, birthday gifts, clothing, things like that. Spending money for her and for him. And I always like to include a buffer, which just allows you, if you go over budget on groceries one week, or you end up, going over budget on your restaurants, it just kind of helps absorb the cost. Moving on to savings, they are currently putting $50 a month into a kid's college fund. And then for their debts, we have a student loan and an IRS debt. Whenever we put all of this into the spreadsheet, we are going to see that they have 64 cents left. So this is almost a zero-based budget. The goal is for this number to not be negative, so I feel like we're good to go. Now we have this budget, part of their bills, half of their bills are coming out at the beginning of the month, and then this budget will last them until July 17th. On July 18th, they will get paid again. I like to see that payday as like the start line at a race. And so we are going to start a new budget starting July 18th, going all the way until July 31st. They will both get paid again. She will get paid $1,650. He will get paid $1,900. If they have any rollover money, let's say that they ended up spending less and they have $100 left over, we can actually add that in here in the rollover section because that's how much left they had in their checking account when payday hit. So we can look over at our fixed expenses. Obviously, rent has been paid, but life insurance will come out during this time of the month. Let's say medical expenses, pet food, and drum lessons for one of their kids. Then we move over to variable expenses. These are the expenses that change month to month based off of usually our habits. So we have electricity. Gas was already paid the previous paycheck. I'm going to put groceries and restaurants at the same amount, 2 weeks worth of groceries, 2 weeks worth of restaurants, and gas for their car because maybe they need to fill up their gas tank. We have pet supplies, kids miscellaneous again, money set aside for gifts, another $50 is spending for her and him. Maybe he gets a haircut. I'm guessing he gets a haircut once a month. And then I added in a $100 buffer this pay period. She said that they do want to start increasing their emergency fund. So because they don't have that big rent paycheck coming out, we're able to send $550 to their emergency fund. And then moving over to our debt payments, we've already paid our student loan and that IRS debt, so we have the car loan and car lease left. When we scroll all the way over, we will see that we actually have an extra $109.84 left. This is when I look at my budget and I say, where do I want that extra $109 to go? Maybe they want to take it and send it to the car lease. And so instead of $513, they end up sending $615 to that car lease, or they can do it to the car loan. Whatever they want. That's the beauty of this spreadsheet, is that it does the math for you and you can easily see, okay, if I do have extra money, where do I want to send it to? This is exactly how my husband and I budget every single paycheck. We have 2 paychecks a month. Well, I get paid once a month, but he gets paid twice a month. And so this is exactly how we write our budget. And this is how, if I was getting paid biweekly, exactly how I would budget every single paycheck. Okay, so thankfully, when you're paid biweekly, you get these wonderful months of the year where you will receive a 3-paycheck month, meaning instead of getting only 2 paychecks in one month, congratulations, you get 3 paychecks in a month. So what do we do with that money? Well, you have a couple of options. First, my biggest thing that I would love to see you do is to use that paycheck to make extra payments to your debt. If you're currently working to become debt-free, this is a wonderful thing to do because it's going to allow you to just get ahead and pay off more of that principal balance, which will ultimately save you money and interest. That's one of the ways that Sarah was able to pay off her car 2 years early. Now, you could also use that extra money to help build up your emergency fund. I am a firm believer that we should all have an emergency fund, not because I think that the world is going to end and we are going to need all this money under our mattress or anything, but because I know that life happens. It's the truth. Life happens, and having money during an emergency makes certain things that feel really overwhelming just more of an annoyance. If you don't have an emergency fund, or you feel like you don't have enough money in an emergency fund, this is a really great way to send extra money there and help build it up quicker. I personally recommend having at least 3 to 6 months of necessary expenses in an emergency fund. And I highly recommend that you keep your emergency fund in an online high yield savings account, meaning not the traditional savings account that's connected with your checking. An online high yield savings account is going to help your money that's sitting there for emergencies earn more money. And I'll link down below to the actual bank account that I use, the high yield savings account where I personally keep our emergency fund. I'll link down to it below because it has one of the best interest rates in the country, meaning that while my money is sitting there and just like waiting to be used, it's earning more money for me. Another great thing to do for your 3 paycheck month is to actually use it to help fund some of your sinking funds. A sinking fund is essentially a separate amount of money that you are saving for things that you know are going to happen, you want to happen, or might happen. For instance, we have a sinking fund for Christmas. We know Christmas is going to happen. I don't want to be stressed come December with how I'm going to pay for all of the gifts and the experiences and the decorations and all the things. So instead, we send money every single month to our online high yield savings account, and we set it aside for Christmas. That is a sinking fund. We are saving for something that we know will happen. Megan here, she was saving for something that might happen. She ended up having a sinking fund for car maintenance, and guess what? She needed it. And because she had money in a sinking fund, whenever something happened to her car, she was able to literally take money out of that account or out of that cash envelope and use it to help cover the cost. And it was amazing because she had $150 in her sinking fund, and the cost for her car maintenance was $157, which means out of her budget, out of her just other discretionary spending, she only had to spend $7, if you will, on this car maintenance. So sinking funds are amazing. Ultimately, I'm a firm believer that biweekly budgeting can work. I know because this is exactly how we budget. And I'm not gonna lie, it will take you time to get the hang of it and feel that progress. I know that the first time that we switched to biweekly budgeting, I felt like my mind was just like blown. Like it was like a puzzle that I couldn't figure it out. But once I did, it became so easy. Plus, having the Budget My Paycheck spreadsheet that I made makes it even easier because the math is done for me. I can log all of my transactions and I know exactly where all of my money is going. The truth is that you don't need a perfect plan. Things are going to happen. Life is going to happen, but you do need a plan that you can adapt. If you are wondering, how do I get back on track whenever I get off track with my money, whenever I overspend, how do I kind of like reset, hit that reset button? I have an entire video about exactly what to do when you get off track with your money. If you're sitting here thinking, oh my gosh, that's happened to me so many times before, then that video is for you. Thank you so much for joining me. I'd love to know what you want to learn more about when it comes to money. What examples do you want to see? I am newer, I guess, at building up this YouTube channel. And so I want to make sure that I'm providing content and videos that honestly, like you look forward to watching. So if you have any ideas down below, if you're like, oh my gosh, I love it when someone shows a week in the life of my spending, or I want to see more debt payoff examples, let me know down in the comments. I really appreciate it. And be sure to subscribe and follow, do all the things so that way you get notified whenever my next video comes out. Bye.